Is that true?
Yeah, I misspoke. I was on hot stove with a couple buddies today and completely misread the calculations. We knew that Mexico was going to play Italy and then running all the numbers with if we lost tonight with the runs allowed and runs scored and outs. So I just misspoke.
Ken standing on the.
All right, baseball fans, we might have just witnessed one of the biggest upsets in recent World Baseball Classic history. Team USA just lost to Italy. Yes, Italy. The Italy national baseball team just beat the United States national baseball team 8-6. Now the entire tournament picture has completely changed because this wasn't just a random loss. The loss has put Team USA in dangerous danger of not advancing in the World Baseball Classic. Now fans are scrambling to figure out something that most people didn't even think about before this game, the tiebreaker. Because believe it or not, Team USA's fate might not even be fully in their own hands. And on top of that, there's a whole new controversy developing around Team USA's manager, Mark DeRosa. Some critics are now saying something pretty extreme, that DeRosa should never manage Team USA again. So in this video, we're going to break down everything that just happened. How Italy pulled off the upset, what went wrong for Team USA, the confusing tiebreaker scenarios involving the United States, Italy, and Mexico, and whether Team USA could actually be eliminated from the tournament. Because if you thought the World Baseball Classic couldn't get more dramatic, this just took things to another level. Let's start with the actual game, because coming into this matchup, most baseball fans assumed that the United States would take care of business. The lineup is powerful, and historically, Team USA has been one of the strongest teams in this tournament. But baseball is unpredictable, and in international tournaments, upsets happen. Still, this one surprised a lot of people. From the beginning of the game, Italy played with confidence. They weren't intimidated by the American lineup. They weren't playing conservative baseball. They were aggressive. They attacked early. They put pressure on the pitching staff, and that pressure started to build inning by inning. At one point in the game, Italy had a huge offensive moment that completely shifted the energy. The U.S. pitching staff started falling behind in counts. Italy hitters took advantage. Big hits started falling. Suddenly, the United States found itself in a game where it was playing from behind. That's something you don't expect when you're watching Team USA. But that's exactly what happened. When the final out was recorded, the scoreboard told the story. Italy 8, United States 6. And instantly the reaction across the baseball world exploded, because now the standings in the group suddenly look completely different. The big question now is simple. How did this happen? How does a roster full with MLB talent lose to Italy in a game this important? There are a few factors. First, baseball is a game where even the best teams lose sometimes. A single game doesn't always reflect the true talent gap between teams, but there was also specific moments when Team USA struggled. Pitching command wasn't perfect. Some defensive moments didn't go their way. And offensively, the United States left opportunities on the board. There were multiple innings where Team USA had runners on base, situations where one clutch hit could have flipped the momentum, but those hits never came. When you fail to capitalize on scoring opportunities, games can slip away quickly, especially against a team that's gaining confidence as the game goes on. Another factor that stood out was Italy's mentality. It looked like a team that believed it could win. They were aggressive on the bases. They swung the bats confidently. Once they grabbed the lead, they never looked rattled. That kind of confidence is dangerous in tournaments like the WBC, because once a team starts believing, anything can happen. Now let's talk about the conversation that exploded after the game, because attention quickly turned towards Team USA manager Mark DeRosa. DeRosa has been a central figure in building and managing this roster. But after the loss to Italy, some critics started questioning his decision. There were debates about pitching strategy, questions about lineup construction, and discussions about whether different moves could have changed the outcome. Some commentators went even further. They argued that DeRosa admitted something after the game that surprised people. He admitted to entering the team's final pool play game against Italy, not knowing that Team USA had not yet clinched a spot in the knockout round of the WBC. He thought his team had already punched their ticket to the next round. He said as much in an interview with MLB Network earlier Tuesday. That quickly became a talking point across sports media. Now, to be fair, managing in the WBC is incredibly difficult. Pitchers have limited availability, pitch counts are strict, players are also preparing for an MLB season. The managers are constantly balancing multiple factors. But when a team with this much talent loses a game like this, and the manager doesn't even know how important each game is, people are going to start asking tough questions. Now here's where things get really complicated, because the standings in this group now involve multiple teams fighting for advancement. 3 teams most involved in the chaos right now are the US, Italy, and Mexico. If these teams end up with the same record, WBC uses a series of tiebreaker rules. And those rules can include things like runs allowed, run differential, head-to-head results. So suddenly, every inning from earlier games matters. A single run allowed earlier in the tournament could determine who advances. That's why fans are now scrambling to understand the math behind the standings, because depending on how the next game plays out, Team USA might need help from other teams to advance. So here's where things stand right now. Italy just pulled off one of the biggest upsets of the tournament. Team USA suddenly finds itself under serious pressure, and it stands are not filled with complicated tiebreaker scenarios involving multiple teams. WBC always delivers drama, but this might be one of the most chaotic moments of the entire tournament. The question now is simple. Will Team USA bounce back and survive this scare, or did the loss to Italy just change everything? Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Team USA still makes it out this group, or could the United States actually be eliminated from the WBC? And what do you think about the criticism of Mark DeRosa? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy baseball coverage like this, make sure to subscribe, because we're following the entire WBC all the way to the championship. See you guys on the next one.